What up guys, Miguel here of Yugatech and welcome back to another specs comparison. Today we'll be comparing the POCO X5 5G versus the realme 10 Pro 5G, both of which are powered by the same Snapdragon chipset and priced just below 17,000 pesos. With only a price difference of 1,000 pesos, both devices share similar qualities and key aspects. But of course, the minor differences will tell each of their own strengths and weaknesses. So, which one is better on paper? Let's find out. Right off the bat, the POCO X5 takes the lead with its AMOLED display spanning at 6.67 inches. The realme 10 Pro only has an IPS panel that measures slightly larger at 6.7 inches. The average consumer may not know the difference between AMOLED and IPS panels. In a nutshell, AMOLED screens offer deeper blacks, higher contrast ratios, and better color reproduction compared to IPS panels. In addition, they consume less power when displaying darker colors, which can lead to better battery life in some cases. Both models do have a 120Hz refresh rate, making your day-to-day navigation and scrolling feel smoother. As I mentioned earlier, both models are powered by a Snapdragon chip, specifically the 2-year-old Snapdragon 695. We can expect the same level of performance between the two, but it depends on the optimization on their software, particularly with their own unique Android skins. Thus, the experience will vary in real-world scenarios. Both models have up to 8GB of LPDDR4X RAM plus 8GB of extended memory with support for microSD. The POCO X5, however, has more RAM and storage options, giving you much more options for configuration. It's available in either 6 or 8 gigs of RAM and 128 or 256 gigs of internal storage, while the realme 10 Pro is defaulted at 8 GB of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage. On the POCO X5's rear protrudes a triple camera setup headlined by a 48MP main, an 8MP ultrawide, and a 2MP macro sensor. The realme 10 Pro, on the other hand, has dual cameras. The catch is, its megapixel count is way above the X5 with a 108MP primary coupled with a 2MP depth sensor. While having a higher megapixel count is technically better since it can capture images with higher detail and you'd be able to crop in more and post, having more lenses to use on the POCO X5 makes it a more versatile shooter. At the front, the POCO X5 has a 13MP selfie camera and the realme 10 Pro has a 16MP one, both housed in a centered punch hole beneath the display. For battery, there's really nothing to compare here since both of them have a 5000 mAh cell, combined with 33 watts of fast charging. The battery efficiency may also depend on real-world use cases and OS optimization. The POCO X5 has MIUI 13 on top of Android 12, while the realme 10 Pro applies realme UI 4 based on the more updated Android 13. Their similar features include 5G connectivity, a 3.5mm audio jack, and a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. Only the POCO X5 has NFC though. So, which one should you get? Based on their specs, technically the POCO X5 5G brings more to the table with its AMOLED display, triple rear camera setup, and support for NFC. Starting at only 14,990 pesos for the 6 plus 128GB combo, and 15,999 pesos for the 8 plus 256GB combo, value for money is unmatched. The realme 10 Pro 5G has its own strengths, including a 108MP main camera and a more updated Android version out of the box. It sets you back only 16,999 pesos for the 8 gigs of RAM plus 128GB combo. But always, of course, the choice is yours. So if you're choosing between the POCO X5 5G and the realme 10 Pro 5G, which one would you get and why? Let us know in the comment section below. But if you found this spec comparison helpful, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you get notified for our future uploads. Be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this has been Miguel, and I will see you in the next one.